Find your tribe and don't listen to the criticism.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Olga.
Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
I'm very excited to be here.
So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Sally Hassan, and I'm an independent filmmaker. And I started out doing like a lot of indie film stuff in New York. And I realized that I didn't really get to tell my story, like working for other people. And actually, I moved back to New Jersey and wanted to tell my story of, me living here as a teenager. And that's when Ghetto Nerd Girl was born. And that's my web series that I've been working on for the past several years. And through that, I've learned so much, and I wanted to provide insight on that, specifically on how I'm an introvert and how I work in this industry, because sometimes it can be challenging.
Tell us a little bit about this web series.
So Ghetto Nerd Girl is based on my life as a teenager. If you've never watched it before, basically I was a juvenile delinquent and I got in trouble a lot. And I wanted to show that side of me to see, it's kind of like a transformational story, how I got from there to who I am today. I wanted to inspire people that have come from maybe like bad situations in their family or struggled with drugs and alcohol, just to show that that doesn't have to be like your end all. Like you can overcome these challenges in your life. And I've gotten really good feedback from my audience, and I'm really excited to continue that story and finish the second season and hopefully do a third season as well.
I want to now talk about creating a web series as an introvert. So what do you think are the characteristics of being an introvert? And why is this a challenge being a film creator?
So for me, an introvert means that you're very much in your brain and you're filled with ideas and don't necessarily communicate them out loud to other people. And when you're in a conversation with other people, introverts are the ones who are listening. Also, they don't necessarily have a large group of friends, but more like a small group of friends that are close. And it can be challenging as a filmmaker because everyone says, you should network and talk to as many people. And that can be challenging because talking to a lot of people for introverts is exhausting. And for me, my goal at a networking event is if I connect with one or two people and have a meaningful conversation, I feel like I did my job for the day.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that now.
Yeah. And does it also provide some challenges on set?
Absolutely. In the beginning, I had a hard time communicating what I wanted for my actors. Once I got comfortable with them, and that's why I think the web series medium is great for introverts, because you're working with the same people over and over again. So once I got comfortable, I could really convey my ideas. And I found my tribe where I could flourish and built the confidence to communicate my ideas to my cast and crew. And that's why I noticed, for me as a filmmaker, the first season was like, experimenting, trying things out. In the second season, we really improved on our overall quality of our web series.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go straight into your top 5 tips.
Okay, so before going on set, I do have to mentally prepare myself. So the best thing for me to make sure that my confidence is up is to be as prepared as possible with pre-production. So write out anything that you're going to need for the day. My second tip is to exercise your voice and exercise your body, because I do like stretches and things like that because it helps me to project my voice. And even things that are like similar to what actors do before going, like red leather, yellow leather, and things like that. That's stuff that helps me as a director. And I think as an introvert, that would help as well. My third tip would definitely be to ask questions. And this is before and during and after set. So conflicts can arise when you're on set, and it can be an uncomfortable situation, and you might not want to deal with it right then and there. And you want to be sure that you're not going to hurt people's feelings. So my thing would be to ask questions. Instead of, attacking somebody for bad behavior, I would say, is there something you'd like to talk to me about? And being an introvert, we're great listeners, and that'll help solve the situation. I know I've done that on my set, and it's worked very well. As introverts, we don't really like dealing with confrontation and drama, but that's something that helped me to make sure everyone's on the same page and seeing where everyone is at. The fourth tip I would say is team building. Having meetings before going on set is super important. So I would have a separate meeting with our production crew and a meeting with our actors. As an introvert, it's great to do a table read because you don't really have to talk much. And that kind of ties into my fifth tip is icebreakers. If you're just hiring people and you're meeting them for the first time and you're in a group and nobody really knows each other, it's great to give them a question so everybody can go around the room and get a feel for the people. So an example is I said, we met in New York at a studio to do our table read. So I said, say your name, where you're from, and how long it took you to get here. And that already started conversations with other people. And it made me realize, like, slowly but surely, that was the beginning of us, like, building a community within our project.
Yeah.
And it's a real feeling.
Yeah, great. And how did you build that community?
So it started out as my friends first. So I casted one of my friends and I recruited my friend who's a makeup artist. And from there, once they realized, I'm working on this, people kind of offered me their expertise, even if they never worked on a film project. For example, one of my friends, he's very good at like persuading people to do things. So he became my location scout and was able to get me a lot of cool places to film.
Wow.
Yeah, and you'll see it in our second season. Because his brother owns a burger place, and we were able to film there while it was closed, so we did an overnight shoot for that. And then right around the corner, he walked into, it was like a liquor store / club, and, he just started a conversation with the guy, and he was like, yeah, we're doing a web series, like, could we film here? And he was just like, yeah. And I was like, that just happened?
Yeah. I guess that's another tip. Surround yourself with other people who may not be as introverted and they can get those kind of jobs done.
Absolutely, yes.
What about getting your actors and crew?
Once I, still had missing spots. So between recommendations and then I did post some ads for a sound person, camera assistant, and I would just, call somebody and try to get a feel for them. Most of the time, it worked out. And then for casting, I've gotten so many compliments on my cast and how I got them together and how they have such chemistry together. For me, because I'm basing it on my real life and I see the real person in the actor, that kind of helped me find the person.
Yeah.
And also, we hang out outside of, filming. So that kind of helped too with the team building.
Yep. And how long would you say it took that whole process before you actually started filming?
So the first season, I remember specifically because it was right when I just got married, and I put out the casting, and I was on my honeymoon, and I would like sneak into the like little computer lab just to see like who is submitting.
Yeah.
So from there to actually filming, I would say it was like about a month and a half.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And for the second season, from writing the script, that probably took longer because there was higher production value. That was like about 3 months.
Yeah. And what about budget? Do you have funding, or is this basically a no budget shoot?
Yeah, everything is out of pocket for me. So basically I would save up money. I did do a crowdfunding for the first season into the second season, but we didn't make our goal, so I did have to supplement a lot of how I get like hire people. And if I know I can't pay them, I work off a barter system, and that has worked with several cast and crew members. So, for example, one of my actresses, she's also making a web series, so I agreed to help her produce some of the episodes, and I acted in one of her episodes as well. So then, if you help me with something, I can help you, and that's worked out with several of my cast and crew members.
Okay, I've got a question that's the real test. When you watch the show, do you think it accurately represents you and your childhood and what you wanted to, I guess, show and the story you wanted to tell?
So when I watched it, for the most part, as far as the acting goes, I would say that yes, it is spot on for depicting my childhood. What isn't accurate, I would say, is the outside. I had a really difficult time showing that I was, poor, because the houses and stuff that we used, they were not like, in bad neighborhoods. So that was the one challenging thing to reproduce.
Yeah.
That's why I try to film outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when one of the best locations to make me to show like the rough neighborhood was actually my DP's house that he was living in at the time. It was all guys and basically a frat house, and I said, this is perfect for the party scene. That was the season finale where they had the basement scene at the party.
Yeah.
And we were able to shoot the whole it was episode 5 and 6 at his house at like different parts, so we could all be there, and that was a great for our scheduling and our budget.
Yeah.
If you want to keep your budget low, my tip would be to keep your locations to a minimum.
Yeah. So what stage of the web series are you at now, and what's coming up in the future?
So right now I'm working in post-production with the team. We have 3 more episodes from the second season to release, and they should be released starting in March. And we also plan on having a premiere in March, and that'll be released on a weekly basis.
And then what about season 3? What can we expect there?
So season 3 is going to get really dark and relevant. I find, not without giving too much information away, I find it ironic that even though this story happened over a decade ago, the issues are still relevant today with teens, especially right now. We're leaning more towards finding out about, teen relationships and how Susan navigates through that.
Exciting. and what about the artwork for the poster and the graphics that you use? Do you also get that, on a barter system, or because they're pretty cool? I like them.
Thanks. So a lot of those ended up being happy accidents. So one of my actors, he recruited two of his friends to help the web series. And his one friend, who also did the theme song for Ghetto Nerd Girl in the second season, he was just like, I really like your show. Can I do a song for it? And I was like, sure. And it ended up being our theme song because I liked it so much. So he actually did the poster. So we had people doing, wearing multiple hats. And then that mural that you see, that was actually outside one of our locations where we filmed. My friend who knows how to schmooze, we walked around, scouted the area, and we found all these really cool murals. And he's like, we have to use this somehow. Yeah. And you actually see that mural in one of the episodes coming up. And it totally fit, the vibe of our show that I was like, this is perfect.
Did you ever have sound issues while shooting?
Yes. Yes.
Things that you could save or things that were too late?
It was actually for the first episode. We filmed on the Baywalk, and it was outside. And, you go to location scout, and you're like, oh, nobody's ever here. It's going to be great when we film. So the day that I went to film that opening scene where the girls are on the Baywalk, there was a fishing tournament. And then somebody was sawing. They had one of those electric saws.
Oh. That's what this sounds like. So did you have to cancel?
We ended up still filming it. I mean, I tried to edit around it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't great, but I was like, you know what? I did my best, and this is what it is.
So where can people find you and watch the show and all the socials and all of that?
So everyone can find Ghetto Nerd Girl on YouTube and on Starable, and our name is Ghetto Nerd Girl. We're also on Instagram, and we have a live video every Sunday, 9 Eastern Standard Time, Ghetto Nerd Girl. We're on Twitter, Ghetto Nerd Girl. And on Facebook, Ghetto Nerd Girl. Yay. Our name is so unique that we could just have Ghetto Nerd Girl.
Who does your social media? You, or do you have other people that help?
Mostly me. I have some of my cast members will send me pictures to post, but I do most of the social media. Oh, and if anybody wants to chat with me, I'm also on Starable. I'm available to ask questions. I love talking to other filmmakers and web series creators. I think it's really important to keep that muscle in your brain alive. I know for me, this isn't my full-time work, but it makes me feel so much better to know that there are other people going for those goals. And we're all in this together.
And if you had one piece of advice that you could give to other people starting out who want to do what you're doing, what would you tell them?
Find your tribe and don't listen to the criticism.
Good tips. Good tips. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experiences and chatting with me today.
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.